Welcome back to the Long View, everyone. I'm Julian Zelizer, and I am excited to be here. My friend Michael Cohen. How are you, Michael?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well. So I thought as the year ends, maybe we could talk a little bit about the state of the Democratic Party, where they are, where you think they're going. I read one of your posts on your excellent Substack,
Thank you.
and let's just start big and then we can go into some details. I mean, how do you assess where the Democrats are as 2025 ends relative to where they were in January?
So I'll just say I wrote a piece about a year or so ago that basically argued the Democrats should sit back and just do nothing and wait for Trump to overreach, overinterpret his election as a mandate, and to reap the political whirlwind. And that seems to be happening, actually. Through really I shouldn't say no actions by Democrats, but basically Trump is at 36%. He's as unpopular as he's really ever been as president, and I'm including first and second term here. And I think Democrats are well positioned to win back the House in 2026, and potentially even make some inroads into the Senate. And I think it's largely because we've seen this kind of like pendulum swing. That what happened last year, Democrats lost, Trump wins the election, Republicans take the House and Senate, and then he overreaches, and you have this sort of backlash response to his presidency. And I think that will probably continue in 2026. I think Democrats, surprisingly, are in pretty good shape heading into the new year.
Can I ask you, write history, you study history
Sure.
like myself, and off-year elections, can be significant. They might not be significant. How do you assess what we saw this year, especially obviously New Jersey, Virginia, and New York, in terms of barometers of where the party might move?
Well, I mean, two things. So first of all, step back there. You have Democrats have basically overperformed Kamala Harris's 2020 performance by on average of, I believe, 13 or 14 points in special elections and off-year elections. That is historically good. I don't think any party's done that well in special elections, which I think is a function of two things. One is that Democratic voters now are voters who tend to uh, vote. They are routine voters. It used to be the Republicans were the ones who always went to the polls, but now it's Democrats. And so that's helping them in these special elections. I think it's also the case that Kamala Harris probably underperformed in 2024 and Trump overperformed, which means so that's one reason why I think Democrats are doing better this year than they were last year. But I think it's also that Democrats just don't like Donald Trump, and they're pretty upset with the state of the country, and they're more motivated to vote than Republicans. And you see this all the time in special elections. It's not unusual. But when you have this backlash to Trump, enthusiasm among Democrats, and combine it with a coalition of voters who tend to vote more frequently than Republican voters, boy, that's kind of a perfect storm that's going to lead you to this kind of over performance by Democrats in 2025. And again, like I said, this has happened through pers- every election, both special elections that have low turnout and elections with higher turnout. You saw this Tennessee House race earlier this month, in which you had basically a turnout equivalent to the turnout that you got in a midterm election in 2022. So huge, huge turnout. And in that election, Democrats lost, but they overperformed Kamala Harris's numbers by 13 or 14 points, which suggests to me that this is a persistent trend. It's not just happening in these special elections. It's happening in elections where you have higher turnout. That's a great sign for Democrats heading into the new year
What do you
and
think?
for next
Sorry,
year.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, no,
Go
no.
ahead.
That's all I say. No, I'm
I
done. I'm
mean,
done.
with the coalition, and so you wrote a great book on 1968
Thank
and
you.
the challenges and some would say crisis, whatever the moment that certainly Democrats went through in that period. The coalition from the New Deal, the Great Society, started to fragment, and some argue a new coalition took form. Um, what do you think the coalition is today? I mean, there's a debate. A lot think it's a coastal party of overeducated people. Do you agree with that? And how
Yes,
would
I
you
do
assess?
actually. I
Yeah.
do. I mean, I think that's actually one of the things people don't talk enough about. This has been a realignment in American politics in the past 10 years. Well, realignment may be too strong. Maybe a sort of mini realignment where suburban educated voters who used to vote Republican are now voting for Democrats. And you're seeing this in red states and blue states. And I was struck by something after the 2024 election. Obviously, Kamala Harris lost. A lot of people, criticized her for campaigning in places like in Wisconsin, for example, the Wow County, Waukesha. I forget how to pronounce the O County, Washington, and I can't remember how to pronounce the other one. But there's three counties that go around Milwaukee, and they've been traditionally Republican counties. She campaigned there with Liz Cheney and other former Republicans. A lot of people criticize her for that. Here's a fun fact. In Waukesha County, which is like one of the more Republican counties, suburban counties in the country, she did better than Joe Biden did in 2024. That didn't happen in 2020, I should say. That didn't happen in many places. So what you're seeing, I think, in a lot of these counties that once voted Republican is they have moved away from the Republican Party because of Trump's rhetoric, because of his misogyny, because of his racism, because of his policy they don't like, and they've moved more Democratic Party, and that again has given Democrats a base of support that I think is hugely beneficial to them. Um, so now the Democrats are in a situation in which they can rely on these suburban voters who vote in almost every election. Are we having an issue here? I I can't hear Julian all of a sudden. Oh, okay.